Unique. That's why you and I love gaming. Love gaming. Unique.
Alright, and we're back with our director's commentary game, Restore. And let's go.
There's always a set of frustrations that a project brings about due to the limitations that it has. One of my bigger ones with Unavowed was the flatness of everything, especially considering that the game has quite a few dramatic moments. So one of my attempts to counter this was the fairly late addition of animated establishing shots and close-up shots, which more than anything serve as a nice shift of focus and change from the flat perspective that's otherwise always present. They certainly don't solve the problem completely, but they do add at least enough of a visual dynamic to help introduce some more variety, and also help to showcase the game very quickly in a trailer or teaser video, something that is notoriously difficult with adventure games if you don't want to have a minute and a half of somebody walking. I was inspired to do this by other 2D games that do this sort of thing really well, like Full Throttle or Primordia. And I always love how much this added to those games. So it was really great to try and bring that same sort of idea to a few key moments in this project.
You put that Full Throttle sticker in there, didn't you?
Still raining.
At least nothing's here waiting to kill us.
Writing the East Village section of the game was a little bittersweet, because I used to live in this neighborhood. I used to live a block away from the Astor Place Cube. And since I moved away, it has changed a lot. A giant glass building went up in the middle of it, and I find it the biggest eyesore ever. It does not suit the neighborhood. You have all these nice, quaint brownstones and old shops, and everything is just, and then you have this big, colossal glass tower in the middle of it, which I despise. So I decided in my version of New York, if that building has to be there, I'm just going to trash it. So that's what I did.
Cock Enterprises. Alright. That's an interesting viewpoint. So this cube is a real thing, right? The Alamo sculpture, aka the cube. There's so many black cube statues all over the world, and it is linked to the subject matter of this game. That's what I find really interesting. I'm not sure. I would assume that the creator of a game like this would be aware, because he's obviously fairly well versed in the whole, occult aspects. So I would think that he's aware of the Saturn connection on this. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that nobody mentions it in the game, so I'm not sure exactly. Maybe it's just like an homage to, apparently he lived there, so an homage to his living space and a monument that he probably walked past 100 times and knows very well on the surface. But again, given his knowledge of all the darker aspects of humanity, I would assume he knows about the Black Cube Saturn thing. Just a thought.
Speaking of, let us venture forward. We will learn nothing standing here in the rain. She does not like rain.
No. Well, it has been raining for a while.
It's rained the whole time.
There is no need. We are equipped to handle this.
I'm just gonna open the door and let some air in here. I don't know about you.
I'm getting kind of hot.
I mean, it's not gonna help you, but I mean, my comfort's all that matters. Yeah.
Right behind you. Right behind you. Right behind you.
Right behind you! Right behind you!
Right behind you. Right behind you.
That's all, folks.
Right behind you.
Alright, this is an interesting dude.
You seem troubled.
There's a cop here, and I'm a wanted criminal.
So there is, but you have nothing to fear from him.
The veil. Did you do something to me?
Don't worry, it's totally harmless. Well, mostly.
Mostly.
It just disguises your identity. Anyone looking at you sees slightly different features.
You
Why
are
is
not
your
the
voice
first
so
new recruit
quiet
to
all of a
arrive
sudden?
with complications in the mundane world. The veil prevents awkwardness all around.
Great. Wouldn't want things to be more awkward than they are.
Oh, you have no idea how awkward things can really get.
Oh, I
Indeed,
have some idea.
the veil is not a shield. The veil only works on mundanes. Supernatural beings and the void touch can see through it easily. But that law enforcement officer, he will pose no threat.
In early builds of the game, the veil was discussed and introduced during the meeting at headquarters. I decided to postpone that introduction because that meeting was already very info dumpy. There was already so much going on, and there was a lot for the player to process. So I decided to hold off describing what the veil was until this moment when it actually became relevant.
Good point. Let's go. No, normal folks won't recognize me, but supernatural folks can. Got it.
Good. Let's keep going.
Yes, that is Corey Palmer.
So yes, for those of you who might be wondering, that is Corey Palmer, the cop from Blackwell Epiphany. It is a very subtle reference or callback to the Blackwell series, and if you look closely at Corey's portrait, you'll see a tiny scar on his forehead from where Rosa Blackwell headbutted him at the end of the game. So that is for the very observant long-term fans. You are welcome.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I assume you guys have made many games.
Evening, man.
Oh, he does have kind of a scar thing going on.
Who wants to know? Yeah, no kidding. This job can really take it out of you sometimes. I'll tell you one thing. You see a lot of bad people in this line of work, but it takes a special kind of nasty to torch a homeless shelter. I don't blame you. See ya.
Hey, are you alright? You look a little...
You look a little.
Where are you taking me? I'll do whatever you want. Just help me. Please.
Did you see that?
I did.
So in the earlier builds of the game, your companions couldn't see the vision. You had to explain what the vision was when you woke up. After the third vision, this got very tedious, having to explain what you just saw. So to streamline things, I just enabled your companions to see the vision as well.
Neuromorphic projection. I've read the theories, but never thought. I think she's coming out of it.
Are you all right?
Yes, you did. We saw it too. A vision from your past. Well, your demon's past, technically. This area must have kick-started your brain into remembering. There was some psychic spillover. We could see it too. Sorry. For what it's worth, I feel completely fine.
As do I.
See? Bright side.
This building the demon entered. It used to house the Village Eye.
The newspaper? Didn't it go out of business a few years ago?
Indeed it did. What was your demon self doing here? We are on the trail of a demon. I think you can endure the occasional headache.
Right. Enough jabbering. Let's go.
Back in the pre-production stages for this game, when I was hashing everything out, one of the core things I really needed to nail down and establish was why the player character was involved on missions at all. What did the player character bring to the group? My original thoughts were to give the players some kind of magic power, or some ability, or some such. But since we already had several characters who had abilities that just seemed a little redundant, adding complexity onto something that was already quite complex. And in the end, I decided to keep it very simple and just homed in on these flashbacks that you have whenever you enter a new area. These flashbacks are what give you your first clue as to what's going on in the neighborhood and where you should investigate first. And thus the player character becomes absolutely essential to each mission. The Village Eye is another subtle callback to the Blackwell series. You may remember the newspaper that Rosa Blackwell worked for at the beginning of Blackwell Legacy was called The Village Eye, and in subsequent games, she talks about what a crappy and horrible place it was to work, so now it's shut down and squatters are living in it. So when we first drew this background, I had asked Ben to base the Village Eye building on the Village Voice building. And sadly, it appears I have magic powers or something, because in the game, the Village Eye is out of business, and soon after we designed this, the real Village Voice went out of business. So I guess it's true to life now? I don't know. Oh well.
It's almost as if you made an esoteric game. You saw the future. You picked up on some energy.
It is done. Be aware that if law enforcement questions me, I am compelled to tell the truth.
Yeah.
It smells very human in here.
Sometimes it's really interesting to take a look back and see how things change from first draft to final product, especially considering how radically different the two ended up being. In my original draft, you entered this building, and while you were exploring, a man named Jordan came in, recognized you, and then brought the rest of the cult in, and you would learn everything that was happening that way. Worked great on paper. As a game, it was not very satisfying to have everything being told to you just out of the blue. My new rule of thumb for telling stories in games is to have you explore and discover the story through interactivity. So instead, I decided rather than Jordan coming in to see you, the goal would be to find Jordan. And then I started thinking about, well, what happened to him? And then I came up with this idea of the whole fire elemental, yada, yada, yada. And things just sort of snowballed from there. But what was interesting about this is that originally I had like a whole cult that you met. And now you only meet two of them. And that was fine. That's all I needed. They were the linchpin of the whole story. And they were all that I needed. So by simplifying it and kind of sanding it down to its essentials, I think we created a much more satisfying story.
Right. Yeah, it's not bad. It would have been a little overwhelming if there was a lot of exposition.
Only one bed in here.
Yes, this room was designated to separate one individual from the rest. Someone of importance, most likely.
What have you got there? An old fuse? Seems to...
What have you got there? An old fuse? The one thing I realized very fast in having a non-voiced player character as well as no narrator was that there was nothing there to really tell you what you were doing. So if you opened up a drawer and found something, usually the player character would say, oh look, it's a fuse. So instead that role was always given to one of the other companion characters.
Interesting.
And that got old very fast. So I added that little floating tooltip that appears above the player character, and that did the job a lot better. Kind of clunky and gamey, but it worked so much better.
No, I hear you. That's pretty great. Item received, photograph. Oh, what do you got there? A photograph? Yeah, that would get old. It's an interesting idea. Tooltip.
I don't think...
Electricity. Let's go to the basement. What?
Do not be alarmed. They are harmless.
Right. So ghosts exist. Let's move on.
Good. You adjust quickly.
Yeah.
Death is part of the mundane world. Let us move forward.
Ow!
Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Can't see a damn thing. That's weird. Come on.
Is there a problem?
The darkness. It's fighting the light.
It always does.
Always.
I'm being literal. Whatever's
Same
down
here.
here, It's interfering with my magic.
Color me gobsmacked.
It's a forest.
A forest in a basement.
Well, that explains why my fire's so weak down here. Probably a natural defense mechanism for whatever this is.
The fuse is baloney.
Not sure what you're trying to do there. The fuse is obviously blown. Blah, blah, blah. Blown.
The fuse is baloney.
I find it quite hard to make interesting shapes in leaf clusters without them getting lost among the sea of other leaves, so for scenes like this forested basement I like to rely on roots and vines to give most of the texture and pattern.
Right.
The leaves are more sort of a foundational element than a feature for the most part. They provide information and colour, but not so much in the way of shape and design.
Now that you mention it, yeah. It's very well done, I gotta say. I really appreciate those graphics.
One of the biggest things that can be frustrating when doing 2D animation on a computer in as fast and efficient a manner as possible is how static things can end up looking. Unless you're hand animating each frame, things like moving cloth and hair just look stiff and fake. For this particular close-up shot,
3D?
I wanted to have the cloth being pulled off, but I knew that I couldn't hand animate it with the painted style in a way that would look right, nor would I be satisfied with a static cloth sprite that got pulled off without any distortion. To combat this, I painted the cloth as normal, then rigged the cloth to a mesh that I could distort, and then tried to emulate the stretching and distortion of a cloth being pulled by moving the mesh accordingly. The sprite would distort as the mesh distorted. This sounds like an easy solution, but ended up taking a lot of tweaking to get looking right.
Of course.
But the end result is one of my favourite animated moments in the game, so definitely worth it.
Well, this just got a lot more complicated.
Male. Early to mid-60s, I believe. The cause of death is difficult to determine.
He's got vines growing out of him.
Did a disease do this? Should we cover our mouths?
If it was, I do not believe it is contagious.
Should we cover our
Provision.
mouths?
You were familiar with this building. Whatever happened here, you were involved.
You don't remember anything.
I think I would have remembered this.
Yeah, you probably would.
No doubt your demon covered its tracks well before leaving your mind.
So, who is...
He has no distinguishing marks. Whoever this is,
Is this body yours?
It is a lost spirit. It cannot communicate.
Are you sure?
It does appear. Let us leave it.
In an early draft of the game, this scene went a whole lot differently. The ghost was a Geist, and if you played the game, you know what Geists are. And it started making the building shake, and leaves were flying everywhere, and like all these horrible things were happening. And so they had to run out, and they decided, oh no, we have to deal with the Geist. And they figured the only way to do that was to find out who the ghost was and put it to rest, etc., etc., etc.
Etc., 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 you
but at the
dumbass.
same time, it felt too Blackwell. I was designing a Blackwell game, not an Unavowed game, and I decided to simplify it because I knew you were going to meet Logan in a subsequent mission anyway, and ghosts and geists were going to be explained and dealt with there. So I decided to simplify it by a lot.
Yeah, also, Geist is literally just German for ghost, so it really isn't a different thing. Also, one of my pet fucking peeves, etc., etc. It's pronounced etc., etc., not etc. Every American seems to do this. I'm not, hashtag not all, but, a lot of Americans seem to do this. They just say etc., 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 even though it clearly, somewhere in this game it happens. It says etc. on the screen, etc., but no, etc., etc., etc. That's not a word. Fuck off with your etceteras. It's etc. How hard is this?
Do these drawings on the wall mean anything to you, Mondana?
I didn't check the pewter. Maybe I should.
This wall
Just
drawing
type in
means
Wendy.
nothing to me. Eli?
Hey, you alright? That computer nearly shocked you.
Most curious. I wonder why it did that.
Huh, beats me. Guess we'll never know.
Seriously unfair. Playing out of order, are we? Oh, come on, game. I know the password.
Most curious. I wonder why it did that.
Oh, that is such bullshit.
Beats me. Guess we'll never know.
Playing out of order, are we? Why? You want me to... Yeah, okay. Want me to just tediously follow the whole path? Fine.
Don't play dumb with me. I'm not... I'm just thinking Britney Spears, I'm sorry.
You want to sing it? Go ahead.
I'm not that innocent.
Okay, now you're going to sing every line.
Thank
No, you're
you.
not.
Excellent. It's the musical adventure I've been waiting for. I don't give a crap what it means. And I don't give a crap about you either, Mr. Master. Mr. Master. Jesus. That voice. No wonder we used to follow you. Now that's the joke, right? Because they're not voiced?
Oh, well, actually, like, because I'm your master, like, you sound like you actually believe them.
No, but I mean the player character is
Oh,
voiced.
yeah, I keep forgetting. Yeah, that's not the joke, but I guess it could be.
No, I think it's gonna be a joke.
All right, fair
No,
enough.
it's not a joke.
Where did you get that? The village I know what you're talking about.
That is...
Do I look like I care? I might not look it, but I'm fine. You don't need to come out here. Wait, it's you. You've come back.
Yeah, I'm back.
You're the master.
Yes, I'm the master.
Don't know why you sound so surprised. You've done something.
Curious. She can see past the veil. She must be void touched.
What touch?
Void touched.
I don't give a crap what it means. And I don't give a crap about you. Just leave me alone. Why?
Because I'm your master and I command you to.
Jesus, listen to you. You lost it, didn't you? The power you had, it's gone. Serves you right after the... So get out of here.
Wait, followers?
You heard me.
We found a dead body.
You can't prove a damn thing. I mean... That... You're sick, you didn't just...
It's a...
We are trying to piece together...
No, if you've forgotten about it, then... What do I mean? You left. Me, I'm back where I... You never... All that time, You really don't... You've even forgotten Jordan. Well, he's gone. Don't just... Please.
Just so we are clear, we are not calling you master.
Now can I type in Wendy? Serious difference that made, huh? Son of a beast.
Blood rituals used for healing.
It may be wrong, but it does explain the forest downstairs.
Beauty can hide all manner of evil.
So how do we stop it?
That is the question, is it not?
We know what happened, just not how. If I understand that journal right, the ritual stopped working when the, master left, which means that only you...
Then why leave Jordan and...
That's a good question. In the meantime, I really want to know more about this ritual. After...
Well, the cat's out of the bag now. You proud of yourself? Like hell, you took every... Then you'd better...
Life, that explains the wildlife in the basement.
Whatever it was, it felt good. it all ended. Jordan was so happy. Whatever you did to us, the healing. So he put me in charge. I just wanted to... It didn't work. It was an accident. Yes, I put him on the altar, killed him. I thought that was the end of it.
His spirit, it came back.
It was horrible. He couldn't stay. Yes, You believe me.
It is not a matter of belief.
Well, there's no point in lying anymore, is the Master here was just as much involved as me. You think I'm an idiot?
What?
Why do you think? It's probably halfway to Jersey by now. Cerebral palsy. You see the pipes and you can examine. This mess. You split. If I...
She magically... Are you lifting with your knees?
Yes. Bracing. Fortuitous that I have kept up my training.
Let's go.
At least the rain is washing away most of the smell. Huh. Looks like Wendy was right.
Help me! Thank you, Master!
I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to imagine, like, the urgency of being like I'm really hot! Whew, okay.
Do you want to take a run on, get some air? Or are you alright?
No, we're alright.
Alright, the hotter you are, the more in character you are.
Yeah, I'm really feeling it.
Oh, I hate that. That's the worst part about voice acting is you can't have air conditioning in the room.
Look at me! Of course I know what I did! I'm on fire! Forever!
Very Gilbert God.
That was very Gilbert God. Yeah, no, I felt that as soon as I did it.
Too hot, my bad. I forgot. That's your task.
Eli.
Turn it on! For the love of God!
Okay, I'll turn the water back on.
Wait, Master? Master!
Yes, I'm your master.
I knew you'd come back. I couldn't leave them. I tried.
What happened?
Look at me! Do you remember, Master? Frozen half to death? You saved me.
I remember.
Master, your eyes, your voice. You really don't remember, do you? You were so kind that I couldn't do it without you. The chill, the cold, it came back. I couldn't stop it. It just got worse and worse. I couldn't heal myself, let alone anyone else, so I left. I had to find something.
It looks like you found it.
I know! You warned me that spell was dangerous. I didn't listen. But I was so desperate. I was freezing to death. You taught me a spell, then... Yes.
No, the shelter.
Was... Help me. And the night... Yes, I
The
just
knife.
didn't...
Could you get it for us?
I suppose... I didn't want to leave them. She leads them now. She... Why would she...
Standard escalation.
I want this to end. Master, this is all too much. I served you. How do I cure me? Help me? Do that and I will get the knife for you gladly. Then...
I've been trying. It's self-generating. I've never seen anything like it. I need to know more about his condition.
Thank you! Look at me! Of course I know what I did! I'm on fire! Forever!
Okay. Oops.
Poor guy.
Evening, ma'am.
Is there any chance I can take a look around?
No. In case it wasn't clear, this is a crime scene, which means stay back.
You need to let me back there.
Oh, really?
Bartender, is it such a big deal? You don't seem like you really want to be here.
Well, no, I don't. What makes you say that?
You're obviously upset about something, and it's not just the rain.
The rain isn't helping, that's for sure. You ever feel helpless? Powerless? Like there's too much shit going on and you can't do a damn thing about it?
Everyone feels like that sometimes.
Yeah, but not everyone is a cop. I'm an officer of the law. I'm supposed to be out there doing something, not stuck behind a desk. I know I could make a difference if I was just given a damn chance.
How would you feel about being an unsung hero? We know who did this and we're gonna do something about it. Then do something, let us look around, we can help. How do you feel about being an unsung hero?
I don't care who gets the credit, as long as the bad guys get put away. Wait, I see what you're getting at. You're serious, aren't you? Yeah, you are. You really think you can help. Jesus, I must be crazy, but something. I don't know what. Something tells me I can trust you. Get inside, and quickly. I'll give a shout if someone comes by.
Everybody trusts the bartender. Thank you.
Just get the guy who did.
I begin to understand why you were hired as a barkeep.
Yeah, you had him eaten out of the palm of your hand.
You have an enviable gift for empathy. We will
Enviable.
discuss this later. Let us find what we came for.
Okay. Oh, I never noticed this rope. Interesting.
Come on, melt!
Is everything all right?
Everything's fine. It's just some... There! That's me. Well...
Do it again.
Now that it's out of the open air... Jesus!
Jesus! Jordan.
My girlfriend was watching Riverdale at the time that I was doing this shot of Jordan's corpse. And while Riverdale isn't the same Archie I used to read as a kid, it is incredibly well lit and beautifully shot. And as a result of my exposure to that show's visuals, Jordan ended up getting a vivid pink feature light and cool blue ambient light setup that is definitely inspired by the people that light and shoot that show.
What is Riverdale?
Not a burn mark on it.
Never heard.
The ice protected him from the fire?
It also froze him to death, but if you want to get technical...
We should get that police officer.
Oh, sure.
A great idea.
Yeah, say...
An excellent plan.
Look familiar?
Maybe.
I admit that...
Photo? Oh, it can't be.
I don't believe it either.
The evidence is undeniable. Jordan sought a way to remove the cold invading his body.
We just saw him alive. What did we see in the sewer? Another ghost?
No, we would not have been able to converse. We spoke to Jordan, not a lost spirit. His soul transmuted. He is alive.
He's become a fire elemental.
Serves him right. So many people died because of him.
You forget. It was the demon possessing you that forced Jordan into this position.
Nobody forced Jordan to do this, Mandana.
Regardless,
Oh, God.
we cannot allow a...
We're gonna kill him, aren't we? Let's go back and ask him nicely to leave, I guess.
Stranger things have happened. But yeah, talking it over is the way to go. We should hear Jordan...
Oh, I'm gonna kill him. I mean, you're gonna kill him, Eli.
Whatever you found in there, don't tell me about it. Just find the guy who did this.
Done.
When designing banter conversation between characters, it's very easy to go for the snark and have them just insult each other and make fun of each other. I decided not to do that. I find that I get more engaged when characters find common ground and come to a mutual understanding, and you see their relationship form and evolve and become stronger. That's how I get emotionally invested, and that's how you build character development. So when it came to writing all of these background banter dialogues, I deliberately approached it as each character has a point of view, and as the conversation goes on, they meet somewhere in the middle and come to a reasonably mutual understanding. I'd say about 90% of the background banter dialogues that you hear throughout the game are some variation of that. Characters coming to a mutual understanding about each other. So by the end of the game, if you've heard enough of these conversations between the characters, you really get a sense that this group has grown closer.
Eli, you are scratching the buttons of your coat again with your fingernail.
I am?
Interesting.
Master?
We went to the shelter, Jordan.
You did? What did...
You froze to death in the shelter.
What? I'm dead?
No, not exactly. You're alive, you're just in and that's why the flames are self-sustaining. You are...
So, there's no cure?
Oh, no. Your human body is dead. But you're kind of immortal now.
You mean I have to live like this? Forever?
You
should have left me in the cold.
There's gotta be something you can do, Eli.
Yes, I'm a fire mage. Given enough time, I can remove the fire from your spirit.
Eli.
Will be incredibly painful, I know.
Painful?
It will feel like being skinned alive.
But it will kill me?
Eventually.
Then I'll do it.
I'm so sorry, Jordan.
Do not be sorry yet. I will not allow you to do this. Not when there is another way.
Another way?
There are others of your kind.
Yeah, in another dimension.
Jordan is a creature of spirit now. I can lend him the energy required.
So he can, what, spend eternity with fire people?
Wait.
It is a one-way trip. Life there will not be easy.
But what kind of life would that be?
One that
Better
continues.
to die human. It will hurt, but you'll be at peace.
On an alien...
Yes! Yes, Master, you are right! Maybe this is how it should be! Maybe I was meant to die that night.
Absolutely.
Okay. I am ready.
You guys should wait above ground. I need to focus. And besides, you don't want to be here. This isn't going to be pretty.
I picked the other ones.
This will come back to haunt us, in one way or another. Are you sure we made the correct choice?
Yes. He was human. Better to die as human. He had suffered enough.
And yet, we ask him to suffer more. Perhaps it is worth it in the end. I am often told that I lack the perspective on such things, not being entirely human myself.
You wanted to save his life. That sounds pretty human to me.
At the expense of his own humanity, I did not take that into consideration.
Yeah, you can't ask him to live as a fire elemental,
is
really.
Yeah, he's gone.
How bad was it?
I would prefer not to talk about it.
Oof.
Jordan gave me the ritual knife before he went.
And?
And it's a knife. I'll study it back at my lab. Hopefully find something to make this all worthwhile. Can we hail a cab? I don't feel quite up to the subway right now.
Of course.
So I mentioned earlier in the commentary, and I assume you've been paying attention, that the original end goal of the mission was to deal with the ghost in the basement of the Village Eye, who had turned Geist and was going to tear the building apart, and partially the neighborhood. So the way to deal with that ghost was to get this knife from Jordan, go down to the basement, and kind of recreate the ritual that you learned from Wendy, and then the ghost would disperse. And I mentioned earlier that didn't sit right with me for several reasons, one of which was that I felt like I was designing a Blackwell game, and another
What
reason
about this Blackwell?
was that every time I got to this point of the mission, it felt like a natural ending point. There was this character arc that had reached its end. You had achieved something by helping Jordan in whichever way you chose. It was a nice coda to end the mission on, and I always felt that this is where it should end. And I stopped fighting that after a while and just let it end here, and I feel it's much more natural.
It's all right. Okay, so we have these black... Okay.
To send...
Undefended against what?
Your charter is quite clear. Recruitment is your responsibility.
You accuse me of negligence.
That is precisely the point.
So am I, Arilax. New York is getting overwhelmed.
Then we must be ready when it comes. Arilax out.
Major Hanum swallow you whole.
Major Hanum swallow you whole.
When I was first designing the backstory and everything for this game, I had it in my head that you would be able to talk to the various other branches of the Unavowed and get their input on various monsters and creatures that you encounter. In the end, I decided not to do that. As I mention a lot, I often try to keep things simple. That's kind of my mantra about this stuff. Keep it simple. But I had already written this dialogue and I already had it in the game. And I debated whether or not to cut it or keep it in. And in the end, I decided to keep it in because it is a nice little world building detail.
Exactly.
It's sort of short and quick, but it does help give the sense that this world is much bigger than what you see. So I decided to keep it in, even though it doesn't really lead anywhere.
Ah, you
not bad.
Heard that, did you? Lady, it is no secret. I had hoped to appeal for aid and fill up our ranks. I respect Lady Arilax, but I should have known better.
Call the meeting.
She is... I'm there. It'll... We know you, but yeah, there, where I not yet. I have appealed once more for aid. It has been rejected.
Huh, this is my surprised face.
Why do you bother with those cowards, Father?
Show some respect. They are correct. Only to a degree. Each branch is responsible for its own defense.
So have all the branches, Father. A sudden rise in threats would have caught any city unprepared.
And we're that city. Lucky us.
I shall appeal again, rest assured. In the meantime, let us go over last night's events.
I almost got crushed by a giant ice block.
You seem fine to me, Mage Beckett. Have you recuperated from your ordeal with the fire elemental?
You mean Jordan? Yes. Physically, I'm fine.
And otherwise?
I'll recover.
In that, we can agree. However, I am deeply concerned that this mundane was able to acquire such a powerful spell in the first place. Yes, but why?
Why do demons do anything?
To create havoc, obviously.
No. This was too focused. We are not dealing with a mindless spirit. This demon had a plan.
It ruined my life, is all I know.
Well, if it's payback you want, you might be able to get it.
Ah, I know that look. You did as I asked, Mage Beckett?
Yes, I did, sir. And it worked. Well, working. It's not quite done yet.
What are you referring?
Oh, the ritual knife.
I assume this is a good thing?
I couldn't be sure until I did the scan. But the knife was imbued with a very specific energy signature. It's connected to you, which means...
we can track it. Great, let's get to it.
Yeah, the demon's out of your body now. I can only track where it's been when it was in your body.
Fine. So where did the demon take me?
It was busy. It was all over the map. So far, the scans got you pegged in two places. The Bronx, around Gun Hill Station, and Staten Island, by the ferry terminal.
The Bronx. Hope I don't run into any of my old customers.
The Veil should take care of that.
Very well. Check both areas for... We'll show those idiots on the council what New York is made of. Meeting adjourned.
So last time I took Eli and Logan. Now, let's go to the Staten Island first, right? Let's do that.
When I was first designing this game and trying to figure out the structure and how things were going to work and how the multiple characters thing was going to work, I knew the idea in theory. It was quite another to put it into practice. If you listen to the Bronx commentary, you would have heard that I did the Bronx first. And it's quite obvious if you've played both of them. The Bronx mission doesn't have a lot of branching paths, but Staten Island does. If you have Logan, there's an additional story with Marlene DeMarco's ghost in the alleyway. If you don't have Logan, you get an additional story regarding Vicky's family and the barbecue and all of that, and various puzzles play out differently depending who you have with you. Designing this mission was the first time I really felt like I got Unavowed. Something clicked in my head and I got it right and I knew I could do it. So I'm very happy with the way Staten Island turned out.
Give us a blooper.
It took forever to get here. He's angry there, excuse me. I think that's a little too angry. You son of a bitch! Why? What's up? Staten Island. It's like a big, small town, isn't it? I used to have an aunt who lived out here, back when it was called Richmond County. She's probably dead now. At 132 years old, she'd have to be. Right.
Yes. This was all farmland, once upon a time. At least, that is the way I remember it. Over 150 small farms, and one palatial estate belonging to him.
You're gonna complain about Captain Billup again, aren't you?
It is not a complaint. Have you heard the myths surrounding that man? It is a total falsehood.
Alright, thanks. Let's get back to it.
Agreed.
So he's like the others.
There are no others.
Janie, this is rotten and...
It's a tragedy, Vicky. That's all this is.
God damn it. You know what? I need a drink. Come talk to me if you want to do your damn job.
I need a drink.
So this location is the September 11th Memorial. It overlooks the site where the World Trade Center once stood, and there is a little Easter egg in this room. If you play this game on September 11th and visit this room, something happens. So that's something for you to remember.
Oh, come on. Yeah, well, that's not gonna fucking happen, is it?
Sorry, miss. You need to leave.
But there's a dead body here. Should we be scared?
No, there's no reason to be scared. This is just a tragedy. A senseless tragedy.
Who was that woman you were arguing with?
Vicky? Nobody. Stay clear of her.
What kind of tragedy?
It's a tragedy.
Alright.
It's a tragedy. Sure.
Vinny, come on.
You think I don't know that?
She was your wife.
It was a tragedy, Vicky. That's all it was.
You're serious?
Goddamn tragedy.
Well, screw.
Did you hear that? Again with the just a tragedy.
So one design challenge I set for myself when creating Unavowed was that I didn't want to use map screens. Yes, there is a map screen on the subway, but once you get to a neighborhood, there is no map screen. You navigate the world by walking from place to place with no map screens to zap you across.
Right.
And I did this because I always felt the map screen was a little immersion breaking, how it never really gave you a sense of the world that you're inhabiting.
I really like it.
I kind of wanted to increase your immersion factor and make you feel like you were actually there. And that meant you walk from place to place. But also at the same time, I didn't want to waste your time So I had to get very creative with real world geography and keep each neighborhood very tight and very small and enabling you to get from place to place fairly quickly and fairly easily. So that presented some interesting challenges.
That's interesting. I always like a map screen.
Hey, new faces! Come on in!
But I hear you, immersion. That's probably true. But I do think it gives you an actually better idea of surroundings if it's well done. Like, I'm thinking of like Monkey Island 1 and 2. The map screens on that were great. Like, it gives you a view of the island. It shows, you know, directions you're going, and then you zoom in on the specific places. Specific places.
No matter how good something you write might be, if you spent a lot of time with it, you're going to get sick of it. And I spent a long time designing Staten Island, and when the time came to like really start putting everything together, I was totally sick of it. And I needed to do something to spice it up a bit, at least in my head. So on a whim, I gender flipped every single character that you meet in Staten Island, aside from Vicky, obviously. But it was a way to make things just different enough that it seemed fresh without having to change everything completely. So I highly recommend this technique for you.
What do you mean gender flipping? This used to be a woman and her husband died?
I just wanted to tell you after I read this last night that I super appreciate this next part because
really?
my father-in-law is sober 35 years. And we have had this exact same conversation.
I read a lot about AA and like I found it fascinating.
It was
and
so good.
a lot of Logan's dialogue is just AA philosophy just spouted out through him.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's interesting. I'm glad to hear you say that.
No, yeah, it's so authentic, really, because like normally you'd expect like, oh yeah, like they're so strong, they're so better, and any drunk will tell you, any person who goes to AA will tell you, I'm not strong. It's just it's great.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
No, absolutely.
You know, I kind of disagree. The AA makes alcohol still rule your life. It's good to get off of it, but once you're off it, you should find inner strength. Nice wine collection. Is that a Silas Merlot 99?
You know your stuff. Most folks around here don't know their wines. I was saving it for my wedding anniversary, but...
It's a tragedy.
A tragedy.
A goddamn tragedy.
Oh, Vicky and me. My name's on... You're a shock.
So I have been told.
If you don't know, you guys are obviously not from...
Bartender's creed, I get it. But I'd like to help if I can.
Sorry, can't do it. Like you say, it's part of the job description. Vicky's an old friend, and a good cop once upon a time. I ain't betraying that. Even if she has become the neighborhood nut. It was a tragedy, yeah. You've seen her around. The cops want nothing to do with her. I said,
I'm fine to turn away from your own family. It's the hardest thing in the world.
You'd know it.
Vicky made it easy for him, I'll say that much. It was Hey.
That man, Vinny, did his emotions read a bit false to you?
No.
You're not wrong.
Dang it.
Another ghost, and in a back alley, no less.
Whoever this was, they are beyond our help.
I know. Ignore the ghost. I get it.
No, don't go in, don't go in, don't go in, don't go in! You fucked it up, didn't you? Didn't you? So, gender flipping. This used to be a guy, the bartender used to be a woman, the police captain used to be a man. Is that what you mean by gender flipping?
Summoner, you have made a grave error. Return me to my world immediately.
Why? Is this a bad time?
A bad time? You joke. You summoned me in the middle of battle. I am the general commander. Without me, my soldiers are doomed to failure.
they were doomed to failure anyway.
It matters not. They are under my command.
And you are under mine.
It is no secret our efforts are going poorly. Perhaps even futile. They poison our waters. They destroy our resources, our homes, our lives. So we fight. Outnumbered and outmatched, but what choice do we have?
A choice is exactly what I'm offering you. Would you rather complain or would you rather win?
We don't want to win. We want to live. If you have counsel to offer, I am listening.
Then listen close.
One of the merfolk?
What power drilled into my skull?
Whoa!
Yes, try and get your bearing.
You can lean over the rail if you need to. I guarantee nobody will notice the smell around here.
Oh! Hey! Oh!
You seem alright.
What did that demon do?
It summoned one of the merfolk into this world. But how? To open such a path takes tremendous energy. Energy that a demon alone should not possess. Such a thing is impossible. And yet, I spoke it.
I spoke it? One problem at a time. Let's keep digging.
Yes.
That's crap and you know it.
Keep your voice down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jesus, V. It's not. Everyone already looks at me funny.
People are dead. How many are gonna pile up before you do something?
It's a tragedy, Vicky.
Right. See you around, Donnie.
Bye.
Bye. It's a tragedy, Vicky.
I mentioned a few times that I like to keep things very tight and efficient, and so what I originally wanted to do in this location was not have you go into the police station to speak to Captain Harrison. I originally had her outside the police station, and you talk to her there. You know, why make the player go to an extra location if you didn't have to?
Right.
And this made sense. So I put Captain Harrison out here, and for some reason, I found it very difficult to write Harrison's dialogue. I was having a lot of trouble getting into her head, finding her voice, and it was just driving me crazy. I just couldn't write her dialogue. And then it hit me that the reason why I couldn't write for her is because I didn't know why she was outside of the police station. I just couldn't get inside her head, and everything I wrote just felt lifeless and stupid as a result. So in the end, I put her in the police station. I created that other location, put her in the police station, had her at the desk full of mounds of paperwork, and I managed to get it. I managed to get inside her head, and I wrote all of her dialogue in a couple of hours. That left the outside of the police station kind of superfluous, and that bothered me a lot. So I created the character of Donnie Santina, and I put him outside of the police station just to kind of give that location a reason to be there. And ironically, Donnie ended up becoming one of my favorite characters in the game.
Really? Why is that? He sucks. Plus, the police captain, or, you know, they wouldn't just be at the front desk. That's like a secretary or some, you know, underling, whatever place. They would have an office somewhere in the building. They wouldn't just be at the front desk. That's ridiculous. That bothered me when I played it the first time, just slightly. But again, that's not where they would sit.
Huh? Sorry. Yep, could be worse. I guess I am. You ever play Trollgate? I created a character when I was like 16. Nobody. You didn't see me. Shit. I mean, crap. Don't tell anyone, okay? Who said that? Of course, turned against her. I haven't turned against.
Wait, you're...
Fine. Now you know. She's my sister. Vicky's been nothing but trouble. Right in the shoulder. It was during that nightclub shooting last year. Vicky was the only one to get out alive. That kind of thing is bound to mess anybody up. But Vicky isn't Vicky anymore.
Why was she still shot in the shoulder? That's just now a random occurrence that happened? It's the same with Logan. He got shot in the bar. Huh.
That's just it. We don't know. She keeps bothering people with questions. Just tragedies. That's all they are. Each of them. She's a Santina. That name still carries some weight around here, which she will, the way she's going.
You sound almost ashamed of her.
Hey, man, you think I haven't tried talking? She won't listen. I feel bad for her, but she's gone somewhere none of us can follow. I'm not getting dragged down with her. If she wants to live in Vinny's crap basement, yeah, since her severance package ran out, that's all she can afford. All of us Santinas are cops, at least until now. Janie's on that one, isn't it? It's a tragedy. Like I said, that's all it is. Like I said, that's all it. Right.
Look, police chief would not be sitting here. These are the fucking, that's like the waiting area, waiting room. They would not be sitting here, like anywhere else, but not here. Like even just behind the screen. Just let us walk up to this person and then have the captain sit behind there and come up to the desk. That's all it would have needed. That's all it would have needed.
Yes? What is it? Sorry. I believe I already established that. In any case, while I'd love to chat, I have a mountain of paperwork. Unless there's something else I could... Captain Joy Harrison, at your service. Filling out paperwork. Is she bothering my officers again? That woman just can't let things go. What's to tell? I feel for her. I really do. Now, mental help. The kind you need a PhD to pursue. She refuses to get it, and it's only making her condition worse. Heaven helps those who help themselves. I do not gossip about my office. Please take your idols back. Yes.
Eli, I have been meaning to ask, how are you coping?
Huh? I'm coping fine. Why?
Until recently, we have only entered the field once or twice a month. Now we are out almost every day.
I asked... It's...
Let me guess.
a tragedy.
I suggest obvious...
Neighborhood nut. Look, she's going through a rough patch, but you can't talk about cops that way.
You did not seem very respectful when you spoke to Vicky yourself.
That's different. I'm a cop. Yeesh. You think it's easy for the Santinas? They're a cop family to the bone. Getting suspended like that had to be a blow.
It doesn't matter.
I won't argue there. But in Vicky's case, her folks had their anniversary barbecue last month. Vicky was there. Like I said, it was for her folks' wedding and win.
Wait, did we forget that? Did we forget to ask the police captain that? Shit. We gotta go check.
Yes? Yes.
I guess not, or wait, maybe?
Yes. I do not please take... Yeah.
Not about the barbecue? Okay. My bad. Ask you about the barbecue?
Evening, man. See, that's the kind of crap I'm talking about. My parents do a barbecue every summer so of course, Vicky has to show up and cause a scene. Gets into a screaming match with Captain Harrison. I mean, the captain. I get that Vicky went through a lot, but... Like that's all. I told... Right.
Yes?
Wow, the barbecue.
Everyone's a gossip, aren't they?
That's so
Yes,
crazy.
It's true.
It's all talking
it was
puzzles.
My fault, but Vicky...
What did you...
She took... So I... As I said, she took a handful of the party invitations and burned them on the grill. Yeah.
And you need that information to check the fire reading. And you need the fire reading to enter the building. Who are the merfolk?
I've never actually met one, but from what I've read, they used to come to our world quite often. There are countless stories about mer creatures helping a drowning sailor. Going by your vision.
Fire read something for me.
Sure.
Barbecue.
Sure. Just a sec.
Wait, August 23rd? Is that a different... Alright, 0823, I guess. Is that a different code?
Seems pretty. I used to, of course, these days.
Huh.
The smell. Quite unpleasant.
The key is to look under the crazy. Under the word crazy. I get it. Butter knife.
So there's very little I can say about Ariel Siegel that I haven't said in other commentaries. She is a great, fun person to work with. Extraordinarily focused and diligent and fun to work with. She was Max Lau in Technobabylon. She was Kathy Rain in Kathy Rain. And she had some small parts in Shardlight. And I had actually had Ariel in mind for Vicky for years. Even before I had written one line of dialogue for Vicky, I had come up with the character in my head. I was hanging out with her once and I asked her, "What's your Staten Island accent like?" And she said a few things. I'm like, okay, good to know. And 3 years later, I cast her as a Staten Island cop. So there we go. Thank you, Ariel. Awesome job as always.
Thank you, Ariel. Awesome job as always. All violent deaths.
So when I first started designing this game, my original backstory plan for Vicky was extremely different. My original plan was, rather than her just becoming void touched and everyone thinks she's crazy, was that Captain Harrison had earmarked her to be sent to the General's dimension and did not get killed. She actually excelled in the army and then did so well, she was actually sent back home, but with no memory of what she did in the interim. So she had been missing for several months. No one knew where she was. She didn't know where she was. And now she was void touched. Since she had no explanation for where she was or what she was doing, she was booted out of the police force, and that is when you meet her. But in the end, I decided that was just way too complicated, way too involved, a lot of unnecessary fat and fluff. So I decided to keep it very simple and edit her backstory to what's in the game right now.
But why? I don't get it. Why did she,
For the longest time, every single tester found this puzzle impossible. No one could figure this out, and I was tempted to cut it out entirely or redesign it to be something else. But eventually I finally figured out the reason why everyone was having trouble. It was because every single brick had the same description, just a brick. So as far as the player was concerned, it was just one item to interact with instead of several small ones. So I went in and I added individual hotspot descriptions to every brick on this screen, and the puzzle became actually solvable.
Yeah. An old brick, a pitted brick, an old brick, another brick, a reddish brick, a clay brick, a pitted brick, a rough clay brick, a brickety brackety brick, brick.
What a way to live.
You live in a basement too, as I recall.
Yeah, but mine's cozy.
Yeah, but
and
mine's
my neighbors
cozy.
are less, dead.
Don't move.
Hey, oh.
Okay. Holy sh! It's you, the one who shot up that bar in the Bronx.
How do you know that?
Give me one reason why I shouldn't put a bullet in your head right now.
And where were you shot? You can't shoot me. There's a police station around the corner.
You kidding? After what you put the cops of this city through, they'll pin a fucking medal to my chest. I've been watching you. You've been sniffing around, asking about me, and you were talking to that thing behind you.
It's
we were
not a thing.
actually
it's
talking
a human
to it.
Spirit.
You think I don't fucking know that? Marlene DeMarco, missing for a week, then found dead in this alley, arms and legs chewed to pieces. There's been no investigation. Nobody even wants to talk about it. Not the cops, not her husband, nobody. Nobody except you. What is going
on? We're trying to find that out. Maybe we can help each other. Why don't you tell me?
Tell you, huh? Last year I was in the hospital. This guy named Marino went crazy, started shooting everyone. I took him out, but I took one in the shoulder. Spent a month in recovery.
So how are you void touched?
Things were fine, but when I got out, Everything was weird.
How were you void touch? Because Marino... I don't know. Did all that stuff still happen? Probably not. Or maybe it did. Was Marino still... He did the same thing? I guess he did. But you were physically fine?
Yeah, my arm's solid as a rock. I can hold this position all night.
You were shot in your other
12
shoulder.
years I've been a cop. You think that means something? No, I'm out on my ass. Everyone thought I was crazy. Me, bodies piling up all over town, and I'm the crazy one. Nobody cared. Not the cops I used to serve, not even the victims' families. It was like they didn't even notice. I thought I was the only one. But you guys notice, don't you?
We see because we're like you, void touched.
We're nothing alike. No, here's what's gonna happen. We're all gonna march down to the police station. Then you're gonna tell the captain everything. Convince him I'm not crazy.
Or you can forget the cops completely, join the Unavowed instead.
The what? You think I'm gonna join whatever crazy murder cult you've got going on?
We are not a murder cult. This woman was possessed. She was guilty of no crime.
I'm sorry. Who are you?
I am Madonna.
Look, Madonna, I could care less what you guys are. We're going to the station.
No, we are...
Stay right there. For real?
Please lower your weapon. We wish no harm upon you.
This has got to be a joke. Drop that thing before you hurt yourself.
I am a servant of the Unavowed. We are the wall against the oncoming darkness.
Final warning. Lower your weapon now.
We have vital duties to perform. You are in our way.
You asked for it.
Really?
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Really?
We need not be enemies. Please, join us. Help us.
You stop bullets with your sword? What?
I want to be normal. I don't want this. You want to help? Stay the hell out of my way. And stay the hell away from me.
Her eyes and mind are closed. She could be a valuable asset if she would but open them.
I still don't really understand how she's void touched. Wait, the street continues? I didn't know that! Son of a... That's how you got creative, huh? I sincerely did not know that.
Breaking into my apartment, going through my stuff. I might not have a badge anymore, but I know a Class B felony when I see one.
Open the door.
Sure, I'll get right on that, right after the cops get here.
You said you'd leave us alone. What is this?
No, I told you to leave me alone.
That's true.
Breaking into my storage unit? Kinda the opposite.
Exactly the opposite.
This will not end well. Trust us.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
There are laws. There are rules. You guys are spitting on them. Donnie, you got my call, thank Christ.
Hello, Vic.
Christmas came early, baby brother. I got 3 perps in there. Gift wrapped just for you. They're armed, so you should call for backup. Just make sure you get credit for the caller. Donnie, you gonna move your ass or what? Donnie? Donnie, what the holy fuck?
You were killed here. Unknown shooter. It was a tragedy. That's all it was.
Donnie, no.
A tragedy. Just a tragedy.
Donnie, this isn't you. Snap out of it.
Just a...
Shit. I don't want to do this, Donnie.
In an original draft of this mission, it was going to be some random cop who came in and started a shootout with Vicky. In the original draft of the design, the character of Donnie Santina hadn't existed yet. So when I ended up creating that character, he just very naturally slotted in to that space. So, as I said before, it was like it was meant to be.
Sorry. I'm really sorry.
Sorry.
This vent is quite stuck in. This may take some time.
Time?
My friend, I do not believe this is working.
No. Seriously, what if Eli wasn't here? How would we do this? We can't just fucking
That panel is embedded in the wall. We will not remove it that way.
We can't just do the butter knife panel removal fire thing. How do we do it then? Door closed, the door open? Does that work? Probably not. That looks really dumb. No, seriously, open this. It's sealed tight. Come on.
That would only break the... Now is not the time for chat.
You open this.
This vent is quite stuck in.
What if I help with the knife?
That would only break the nut.
What if I help with the fucking card?
That will not help us.
Oh, you're looping. Hey, found a bug.
There's no time to go through this stuff now.
This whole sprinkler thing, what if Eli wasn't here? I could have been here with Logan and Mandana. Then how would we get out of here?
I am pulling as hard as I can.
You are standing, walking. You are bugging.
My friend, I do not believe this is working.
You gotta believe, Mandana. You gotta believe.
Did you really think that was gonna work?
I really thought that was gonna work.
I am not nearly strong enough to lift open a steel door.
I want you to open this ventilation duct. Why does it move?
This
See, it
vent
moves
is
from its
quite
place.
stuck in.
Can I ask Eli to help?
Eli, I respect you greatly, but...
Yeah, I know.
Oh, come on.
I fail to see...
I don't...
I do...
I don't want to do it this way. I already did. I feel like an idiot doing it the same way. There must be another option, no? I don't want to spend 16 hours in here. She opens it.
Quite stuck in.
Quite stuck in.
May take some time.
This may take some time. And both Eli and myself can help her. So why not all three of us?
My friend, I do not believe this is work.
Okay, how about just me and Eli?
I don't think I can get that open with my bare hands.
You have bare hands? I don't want to just sprinkle. It seems so stupid. Fuck.
How How did you...
Magic.
Whatever, just stay back. You'll get yourself shot.
O ye of little faith. Guns. So combustible.
Well, the bullets, maybe.
It's safe. You can all come out now.
Is he okay?
He'll be fine.
Shit.
You're welcome, by the way.
Right. I'm sorry. You saved my life. Thank you. It's been a long year, but that doesn't excuse anything.
Your eyes are open to the truth now.
The truth. Were you really possessed when you killed all those people?
All those people? You mean the 2 people in the bar? Like, is there another way that story could have gone? Finally, it sinks in.
It's a little hard to take in, okay? You don't need to be such an asshole about it. But I was a bit of an asshole myself,
So, are you...
Someone brainwashed my brother to kill me. You don't mess with 2 Santinas and get...
Vic?
Donnie.
It was Harrison.
Harrison? Captain Harrison?
How?
It's okay, Donnie, but you're sure?
She said, meet her on her boat. Said it was a tragedy.
Harrison. Stay safe, Donnie. Your sister has business to take care of. You guys coming with me or what?
I want to do this with
Mandana,
Mandana,
stay here
not
with Donnie?
Eli. Eli, stay here and watch him.
Sure.
Right. She's getting away.
Action!
Stop the boat.
That's Captain Harrison.
Fuck respect.
And the language. You get that from your father.
Stop the fucking boat.
Whatever you say. There.
Start talking, Harrison. You're behind the brainwashings and the murders. Maybe Vicky should just shoot you and get it over with.
Oh, it's you. You're the shooter from that bar in the Bronx, aren't you? You've eluded us for months. I should be impressed. I can't exactly judge you. Not after everything that I've done.
What exactly have you done?
Nothing that matters much longer. He is coming.
Who is coming?
The General. I met him out here, on the water. He gave me this power. I used it to further my career. I should have known there'd be a price.
Price?
A price to the General. He needs soldiers. His people can't fight on land, you see. He needs us for that. That was the deal. He gave me this power. I would send him people. For his army.
Why are you talking so quietly?
Yes, he would send them back eventually. In pieces, usually.
Pieces?
Then I would use my new power to cover it up.
You sacrificed people, then brainwashed the police to ignore it. You're a monster.
Am I? Maybe. I didn't have a choice. He would have killed me otherwise. But it could have been worse. The General wanted hundreds. I only gave him a dozen.
Yeah, you're a freaking hero. You made me think I was crazy. You made everyone think I was crazy. So tell me, you gaslighting bitch, why single me out?
I don't know. I didn't want to, believe me. But I can't touch your mind.
What?
She is void-touched, as we are.
I knew that as soon as you walked into my station. I knew then I'd have to take action.
You sent my brother to kill me.
I thought you'd leave, Vicky. Then you'd... But no. You just dug in deeper. Instead of moving away, typical Santina. Like a dog with a bone.
What the fuck?
Silence! Summoner, you have returned at last. Do you intend to fulfill your promise to me?
And what promise was that? I'm sorry, you have me confused with someone else. Hi, General. Long time no see.
You stall. You have come empty-handed. You instructed me to bond with a human, one with ambition, and they would bring me an army. I have done so, and yet I still wait for an army worthy of the name. So I ask again, where is my army, Summoner? My people continue to...
There will be no army, General. Shoot it, Vicky.
Pebbles! You attacked me with pebbles. Why? You are the one who summoned me here. You are the one who promised me an army. But you just toy with me. Why?
That's a very good question, actually.
You don't know?
Right. Enough of this.
There is only one your death. The blood of my people demands it.
Saying water.
Surrounded by water. You know what, man? This is the first time I can actually say water the way that I say water, which is wonderful because we're in New York. It's great. Surrounded by water.
Water.
You know what, man? This is the first time I can actually say water the way that I say water, which is wonderful because we're in New York. It's great. Surrounded by water. You know what, man? This is the first time I can actually say water the way that I say water, which is wonderful because we're in New York. It's great.
So you say water differently in California?
What the hell are you doing?
Slash him, Mandana.
Cannot strike the creature from this range.
Go here, Mandana.
Is she crazy?
You actually do that?
Tin Child, I have no quarrel with you.
Oh, she has some quarrel with you, man.
Nevertheless, you have one. The creature is still out of range.
Give me a second. Oh, that actually worked.
Was this your plan? To bait me into battle?
We never wanted to fight you. You attacked us.
You went back on your word.
You can leave this world, or you can perish.
You give me the choice.
We are aware of your desperation, and that you were taken advantage of. We are not without sympathy.
I see. Very well. I accept your terms. I will leave and never return.
What about Harrison's brainwashing abilities?
Yeah.
Joy Harrison and I are bonded.
Speak up.
As long as I am alive.
Right.
Indeed. The bond between you and Harrison is still in effect. That bond enables you to traverse between our worlds.
She is my anchor in this world.
You speak the truth, but we require an act of good faith. Break the bond.
I cannot. It is permanent, or she does.
Can you... You can't kill Harrison? Alright, kill him, Mandana. That was easy. She didn't think twice about it.
The power's gone. I can't feel it.
You don't deserve to
Good.
live.
Then you can drop us off on your way.
On my way?
To wherever you're going, that's not here. Because
How
if I
about
ever
jail?
catch you in my city again, I'll shoot you myself.
Understood.
First in your class. Color me impressed.
I would never hear the end of it if I wasn't.
Still, any father would be proud.
There she is. Vicky! Vicky, is it true? Did Harrison order me to kill you?
You don't remember?
I'm not sure. I got up and found this guy. What happened?
She's gone. She's not coming back.
I don't know why, but...
You have no idea.
Right. But I do know one thing,
So, you guys have a wizard clubhouse or something?
We have a headquarters.
How do we get there?
No, the ferry.
Yeesh. Well, let's jet.
Yeesh. Alright, 2 chapters down. And here I go, waking up again. Gonna drop a little save. And bid you adieu.
Unique. When I love.